Okay, today I want to show you sample video analysis of how I do the analysis and what can be achieved if you're really willing to work on your strokes. At the bottom of the screen you see Manfred. Manfred is one of my students. At the time this video was recorded, he wasn't actually my student though. It was Ulrich, who's on the other side of the net, who was my student. We're going to have a look at Manfred's backhand here before we started working together, and then we're going to have a look at his backhand after about 3 months of taking one lesson a week. And then we will analyze that backhand after 3 months, and I will show you a couple of things that Manfred can still improve on so that you get an idea of what the video analysis looks like. Alright, let's have a look at his backhand. Manfred used to hate hitting backhands. He would try to run around everything. As you can see here, he's just kind of punching the ball back, can't really get any pace on it. The technique is just not there. And yeah, he would try to run around everything possible to hit his forehand, which was his strength. Okay, here you can see the backhand after 3 months of work. It already looks like a decent one-handed backhand to me. I'm pretty happy with the results so far. And Manfred can go on the court and can actually hit some solid one-handed backhands. He doesn't have to run around everything anymore. So let's have a look at this one-handed backhand in detail here. Now, Manfred has a good grip on the one-handed backhand now. He's got his index knuckle on bevel 1.5, which is a really good grip for a recreational player. He initiates the stroke with a good, solid unit turn, turning the upper body here. He sets his back foot behind the line of the incoming ball, which is also very good. Okay, so he does a lot of things well already. One thing he doesn't do so well is he doesn't get his hand up high enough here. If you look at the hitting arm, his hand will not go much higher than that level. Ideally, what you'll see on all the good one-handers is that the hand will go up to about shoulder level. That way you can use gravity, and which results in a lot more racket head speed at the end of the stroke. So here we can see the racket hand doesn't go any higher than that. Manfred is in a good inside position here, so he can swing inside out, which is a key characteristic of all good ground strokes. So inside position means that his racket is close to his body, and he can now swing away from his body. Okay, so that's very good. His front leg is straightening out, which is also very good. So he's slightly rising up to create topspin. His head stays down, very good as well. One other thing for Manfred to work on though is that his hitting arm at contact is not completely straight. This oftentimes results in pulling the hitting arm off to the right side too early. It can also result in some problems with tennis elbow. So from the contact point we see his head stays down, which is very good, and his arm lifts up, also very good. Okay, so much for the analysis of this stroke right here. Now we're going to have a look at a sample stroke of one of my other students to see what it should look like. Now let's have a look at my student David here. We'll use him as a model to show Manfred what he can still improve upon. David actually switched from a two-handed to a one-handed backhand about a year ago because of a left wrist injury. He has developed a really nice, solid one-handed backhand. There were 2 things that I showed Manfred in his video that he needs to improve. Number 1, he needs to take the racket arm up higher. So you can see here the hand of the hitting arm will go to about shoulder level. And that way you can use gravity and create enough racket head speed. We also see here a nice inside out swing. And here comes the second part that Manfred can improve upon. Around contact, just before contact and around contact in general, the hitting arm should be completely straight. That way you can use the hitting arm as a lever and create maximum power and topspin for the shot. So that was it for the sample stroke analysis. Now what I do with all of my students is I film them on a regular basis. That way we can take a look at what stroke used to look like, what it's supposed to look like, and then we can also make sure that the necessary improvements and changes are actually taking place. A lot of times you will have a different idea in your head of what your stroke looks like than what it actually looks like. In my opinion, the only way to really improve your strokes and to improve your game in general is to work with video analysis. So whether or not you decide to send me your video to analyze, I highly recommend that you film yourself and film yourself on a regular basis. It's very easy to do these days. You can even use the iPhone to do that, and you'll get a much better idea of what your strokes actually look like, and then you can improve them.